Attention gamers. When you play ADC in League of Legends, the goal is to rep that long damage done ween at the end of the games, letting everyone know that the right click button on your mouse was just so far superior to all your little pathetic co-workers and foes. But unfortunately, pursuing this goal often comes with the risk of falling victim to the 200 years of game design that has crafted a world where quote-unquote supporting means having better CC damage defenses, schooling parents, clothing girlfriends, food, jobs, money, cars and lives in general, than ADCs, who are just the scum of 2020. And for this reason I started taking Grasp Tank runes on ADCs, because if we can't have anything else, we can still slurp some boogers from the noses of our opponents to make us ever so slightly less vulnerable to some burn victim claiming to be a support saying sayonara as he repetitively turns your anus into a burnt pizza. So today I decided to put myself through the torture of picking boogers on Boomerang Betty here, thinking she might be slightly less useless with a collection of mucus, and then I discovered that this little rodent's poisons keep the grasp timers ticking and the boogers picking, so I fart darted a few kids with a rat. Now if you are excited for me to pull out rule number 1 from the League of Legends YouTuber handbook by showing a few very specifically selected games in an attempt to make people think that these runes are OP, then please slap that upward thumb button and subscribe for more. Don't forget about the global giveaway I am running with the boys, where you can enter for free to win either a PC or $1,500 in cold hard cash, link in the description. Okay, here is my very in-depth Tank ADC rune guide. Pick boogers, break towers, take trades, benefit from dying midgets, then do healy shieldy things. The beginning of this game had nothing exciting because my support insisted on playing 3 galaxies behind me for the first 8 minutes, seemingly trying to set a world record for least number of Q casts in the history of all Sona supports, and even when their jungler showed top, she remained adamant about being completely useless, so my dyslexic ass tells her to poke and she very intelligently responds by saying, "Alcog CD, so I knew sitting in lane with this lump on a log was only going to get me so far, and thus I decided to get my roam on for the first fight. So I run into the forest for a nice surprise, but of course that dumb deaf harpist is on a mission to ensure that no good act will go unpunished, resulting in the gladiator being served some free Sona ass tartar on a platter as I come in and whip my frisbee before deciding that the best time to use my spell shield is after they cast all their abilities. We make the glad all sad and I fling one more spinny boy before flashing to get a good view of tiny Dumbledore stealing all the credit. Quick update from 2 minutes later, when my concerningly bad reflexes and decision-making skills are complemented by my support rubbing her sped gooch on her mouse, AFK autoing the full health tank instead of the one-shot ADC, and that's how I get my first death. But despite Sona using her first Q of the game to steal a cannon minion, things turn around when our pursuit of Plasma Patty catches Creeping Cathy in the act, so I ask DJ Dumbass to play something that slaps for me to kill to as the wing ding dashes into danger to feed Papa Rav a bonus 300. Sir Simsalot from Sparta is pushing in mid tower, and I just know if he takes it I will have to deal with the sky shitting him out onto my lane all game, so I hit my super useful ult to give me a whopping 30 movement speed as the midget riding a vending machine comes flying in like a reckless maniac, just so the announcer lady will say his name instead of mine. But then we have to go save that muted moron who I left 1v2 by herself bot lane to hopefully teach her that pressing Q from time to time is necessary on that champion. But anyways, the Wall-E rider goes flying in first with no chill as he starts tic-tacking the sword slut, but the thought of me getting the credit for a kill forces him to go full ADHD away from his own easy kill to try and steal mine. But I still got it, and I am not done yet as I chase Solari shit tits, and like a crazed psychopath I study her every move, her shoes, her movement speed, her brainless recall, which allows me to hit a flash frisbee for the kill. The boys gather around in river to do some PvEing, but I say to the group, you know what's better than killing dragons? Spying on shirtless men firing water guns at giant glowing rock people, so I trigger my poor man's Kled ult to underwhelmingly boost us into battle. The dumb DJ fails to get fed Fred to dance, which results in her dying before we can team up on the water boy. Then in an attempt to not miss position and immediately get shit on, I end up running in circles and contributing absolutely nothing to any of the side wars going on except for casting a heal to save my already dead mid laner. But it's okay because I finally start to attack something only for the damn walking ATM to flash for the kill steal, and not to spoil anything here, but you can probably take a few guesses on how the gold going to a reckless robot rider who was building straight AP turned out later. Alright, I hope you are ready for the most bronze shit you have seen all month. 3 of them are sieging mid because it's not like clueless and Q-less Sona all by herself can do anything of value in that situation. Then the Fed Yeti launches his engage ball only to immediately jam it into a wall, so I trigger my sad excuse for an ult and once again my spell shield arrives late to the meeting. Then I decide that rather going full blown Ricochet Rihanna aka the only thing this champ is good for, I decide to chase some sprinting Spartan, which ends in me earning myself a goose egg, so I begin to take said goose egg back to my teammates only to stop for a quick game of leapfrog with a random exterminator while catching Thor's wife in the act of protracting her golden wiener toward tiny Dumbledore. We blow the bitch up and then 2 Chains begins his shift as cleanup crew, but turns out he sucks at his job and I never know what the hell I am doing, so the rest get away. Okay, now if you are still watching after that last doorknob humping fiasco thinking that it must get better, the next play starts off with me casually chasing a singed, but luckily for us my super awesome incredible ult allows us to chase him slightly faster, and with the help of Vygar doing pretty much everything else, we take him down. But remember like 2 minutes ago when I asked you to guess if our brain dead full AP Nunu getting all the gold was going to bite us in the ass? Well, if you guessed that he would put it to good use by repetitively getting caught out alone and doing absolutely nothing, then you my friend understand exactly how League of Legends works. Anyways, the king of crop dust has his gas mask on and is flying and trying to inspect the inside of my asshole until bam, the gang is all here, so the circle of shame gets dropped as I hand the boys a Mario mushroom and we use it to gangbang the support. Then Gassy Gary is back and fart walking all over our hooded midget employees, which clearly has upset the midget and the giant mechanical monkey she's riding, and for a split second I think that maybe going full AP wasn't a bad idea, only to be immediately reminded that it was. But according to him, a lack of pink wards is to blame for the result of him chucking that vending machine into overdrive and flying into danger alone on repeat with 0 defensive stats. A few of them are knocking at the door up top, so I have the tiny Dumbledore circle jerk them and then I mindlessly chase, and for the first time this game I successfully spell shield an ability which, hey look, using my kit correctly lands me a kill. Then I have eaten my fair share of boogers this game, so I am down to trek my way through some bloody fart smoke if it means putting an extra 3 hundo in my pockets. But right when we start to get some momentum, that teeny weeny wizard calls the wrong person a muggle, which ends in him being sent to Azkaban as I patiently wait for the dramatic Jesus Christ rendition to finish before I start chucking barbed wire boomies at the bitch until I realize if that walking vending machine doesn't come and take a bite out of this dude like ASAP Rocky, I will be dead AF. And at this point the entire rift has turned into a desperate game of whack-a-mole and my team has graciously fed every single mole. As Sona tries to make Mafia Man dance, but he's like, nah, I get edgy at night, as he demonstrates that according to Riot a 3-level advantage trumps a 3-person advantage, at least when one of the 3 can't trigger their fucking ult in time. But I cautiously chase because I am not trying to get my anus ripped open, but the DJ plays the green song which pumps me up to do some shutdown slaying. But more moles have popped up top lane and one is seemingly bleeding all over our base, which isn't going to fly, so I focus my attention on that mess first, which works, but that wingbat big booty hoe gets away and ultimately, the moles end up winning this one. So on behalf of the whole crew, the Sona who didn't cast a single offensive spell during the entire laning phase, the full AP PC from 2003 that took all the kills and then used them to expedite how fast he could roll himself into 4 of them and die, I would just like to say, rework Sivir right, you titlickers. But now it was time for a change of pace to show just how powerful the constant ticking of Grasp is on the rat, and I was immediately relieved to see that my support had an adequate number of brain cells this game when he actually stepped up to fight High Noon overextended Obama's wife as he hit her with a frost door bash, and then we counted to 4 together as I stacked the fart darts up on her before hitting a flash Dutch oven to nab first blood. A minute later and we notice the giant gun girl is squirming around like she has to desperately take a piss, so when we see her slip off towards the bushes, we make our move with a mustache dash and frosty shield bash, which results in us getting another 4 stack freeze and smack combo. Then all this having a good support who is doing all the work has me feeling overly confident, so I slap a roam mid trying to share the wealth, which just results in me immediately being reminded that my skill level combined with Riot thinking it's just okay for solo laners to always be 3 levels ahead of bot is a recipe for disaster. And thus I decide to go straight back to bot lane where everyone is equally stupid and underlevel to let Mr. Mustache Man continue carrying me as he creates a giant frosted crusty ground vagina to knock up the careless cowgirl as I follow up with a stellar right click performance. Then I'd trigger my stealth reset to appease the people who fill my comments talking about how hard my gameplay is to watch as the Deadpool cosplayer comes in only to get bitch slapped by jolly old big biceps Nicholas a few times to be put in timeout before getting mega cucked by the rest of us. More bot lane shenanigans is in the making when I am just bush bobbing and starting to get used to having a giant bald grown ass man with a porn stash just serving me free kills, so I attach a sniper scope to my dart farter and I let it rip as Obama's wife puts on some overly dramatic act and Project Purple dies to the stinky stench of my passive. Then a lot of red punctuation marks start appearing on my screen which tells me to go stealthy rat to avoid getting Edward Scissorhands up my hairy asshole, and sure enough that bladed butt nugget comes down for scraps and starts slashing Mr. Mustache. But turns out his ex marks the exact spot of his own death thanks to my boy Mr. CC, and then hula hooping Helen finally arrives for a quick ring whack and profit. Add one more battle down bot where Baldylocks whips out the frozen ground poon cooter to secure us an easy kill on the feeding first lady, followed by me letting Miss Tumble Tits know that I can flash and fart dart her all night long, and your boy Ratty Rav was a fed little graspy rodent. So I hit a quick shopping spree, and then the mass murder of their useless bot lane continued with a slight change of scenery as greedy Gosu dies a dumb death once again, and then I get in an uncoordinated pursuit of high noob Senna which involved me accidentally burning my heal only to later classify it as intentional to speed up my little rat ass and land me the second kill, which ultimately prompted the announcer lady to compare me to gods as the other team unanimously agreed that nothing else good was going to come from this game. And that concludes this episode in the series of me building tank runes on ADCs. Let me know in the comments what ADCs you want to see next with Grasp. Also huge shout out for all the support in us hitting 250k subscribers. I am so thankful for you continuously coming back to watch these videos as we continue this crazy journey. Make sure to subscribe to my second channel, Rav and Highs, for daily videos on crazy bot lane comps and just overall fun times on the Rift. Lastly, thanks to the sugar mamas and daddies on Patreon buying me chipotles and coffee so I can keep editing these bad boys into the deep dark hours of the nights. Pet your dog, jerk your ween, buy my merch link in the description and brush your teeth tonight. Rav out.